Back again for another video. On today's topic, we'll be talking about a woman being with the man that she raises. Where do I start? So this is a thought that I wrote down. It was just a thought that literally what I just said was the only thought of it. And I haven't really thought about it that much after the fact. So this is going to be a super off the hip. Because usually I gather my thoughts and then, I discuss these things. But today, that's what we're going to be discussing. Throughout the history of us being in this country, we understand a lot of things over the time that have happened, right? We understand that we were brought here for a purpose, and that our women were not intended to be the wives for us. We knew this. They were intended to have children so that they can become future slaves. That was the whole purpose of why they copulated Black Americans at the time. But now we have evolved, so-called, into a people who still perpetuate some of these tenets. And the idea that a woman creates the man that she wants is still true. Still true. I look at the way a lot of BWs, address Black men and talk to Black men. I don't think anybody has ever stopped to wonder, and this is not the vast majority, or this is the vast majority, but this is not all BWs, right? This is not all BWs, but I believe that the vast majority like the condition that Black men are in. And I think that they are noticing that we are starting to move a little different. We're making different decisions. So all of the things that are accumulating around us are being they're reaching a hyper state. For instance, this push for homosexuality and this large acceptance for homosexuality by the BW. That's another thing of it too. I've ran into many conversations with BWs who didn't like what I had to say, of course, because I speak the truth, and most of them don't like the truth. But when I say what I say, they want to question my sexuality, right? They want to use this as a spear. It's an ad hominem, right? They want to use this as a way to discredit me. I was watching Kevin Samuels, I think it was the other day, and I didn't get to catch the live one of it, but he was addressing those women, and surprisingly, nobody calls up, right? Nobody calls, no one wants to stand in the face of the giant and actually speak that nonsense, right? But a lot of these women, they'll hop online and they'll create all these videos to question the person's sap. It's just a bunch of passive aggressive stuff because they're not really willing to step to the plate. But that's where their power in lies. If they can convince society that this is what's going on with their men, they'll start to believe it. For the longest time, for instance, the world believed that Black men, and they kind of still do, especially American Black men, they believe that the world, American Black men didn't take care of their kids, don't care about their kids. They believed that they were just deadbeats, that like I said, even now, a lot of people who are not familiar with Black culture and actual Black men and how they move and operate still believe that if you have a kid with them, you're going to be automatically a baby mama. That's what they think still. Isn't that crazy? But anyway, where did they get this notion from? Where did they get this from? They got this from the propaganda of black women, right? And I think that they are starting to perpetuate the propaganda again, but in a lens of saying that the black men are weak, that their sexuality is in question all the time, because no matter where you go online, you'll see this, right? It's a common occurrence, right? But I don't want to get too far into that. This is a different topic. This is a different topic. But when it comes to a woman, but it has something to do with what I'm saying. When it comes to a woman who wants to have a son, usually that son is what she would marry. That's what she would marry. That's what she would reproduce with. And being that we are in a gynocentric hyena type clan system, they don't want to see strong men. They don't. And I'm preaching to the choir, right? I'm preaching to the choir, but at the same time, this is something that I think is very obvious in the way that I'm going to describe it, right? They complain about the men being a certain way, and we offer them many, 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 many different solutions. What happens? Think about it like this: when you have someone who you say, okay, I know how to fix this. Here's what you do, and you explain it to them, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, and then at the end of what you're saying to help them in their situation, you ask them, do they get it? And is this something you can do? They say, yeah, I understand, but I don't want to do that. And then you offer them another solution, and then various everything happens. Then you offer them another solution and another solution and another solution. After a while, you have to just concede that this is the way they want it, right? This is the way they want things. All this bickering and crying about the men, they want the men this way. You have to understand that when it comes to women, the most outward thing that you see of them is a misdirection. Even the way they look. Let's be honest. Let's look at all of the makeup and the hair and the weave and the nails and the eyelashes and the butts and the thighs and the whole body. It is a misdirection from what the truth is, right? Because you take all that stuff off, then you reveal what the truth is. The way women operate, especially BWs, the way they operate is a way to misdirect you from the truth. Everything that they do is to misdirect you from the truth, because they know the closer you get to the truth, the more effectively you can attack what the problem is, right? And they're going to keep on misdirecting you. They're going to keep on pointing at things that are not really a problem with them, because it's almost like it's almost like The Boy Who Cried Wolf, right? But it's a different spin. The story goes, of course, the boy cried wolf, and then the wolf actually ate his ass, right? Because they came and see what was going on, and the wolf wasn't there, right? And then the wolf actually ate the ass, right? But in this scenario, they're pointing to something. The wolf is actually going to eat the ass, right? But this is what's happening. They're pointing to something because they want to distract you from their inner works. That's what they want to do. They want to distract you from what they're actually attempting to do and what they're actually doing. Now, I might do a video on what they're actually doing. I think a lot of people don't see it. I don't want to give it away here. I think I might wait for a little bit, stew my thoughts a little bit. But this whole outward presentation that you see from black women in regards to how they criticize men, it's a misdirection. They don't care. They don't care. Think about it. If they really cared, wouldn't they take the solutions that we're offering? Wouldn't the solution be if we said to them, hey, you need to do everything possible to make sure that you pick the correct man, that you listen to your male leadership that you have around you about the men that you pick, and that no matter what the circumstances are, if you have children with this man, you stay with this man. That is the solution to bringing about the change that you want to see, because you have to be the change you want to see. It starts with you, right? And they say, "Now I want to do that." And we offer another solution and another solution and another solution. When are black men going to realize that this is the way they want things, regardless of their outward cries to say the men ain't shit, right? You can't go by that. You can't go by that. Because once again, we offer them solutions and they don't want to take them. They love it here. They love this reality. They love the way things are. I've dealt with women like this who would tell you, they want better, they want to do better, they want to see better, they want better outcomes with their life, and they're not willing to submit to authority. They're not willing to submit to direction. Okay, let's put this in more layman's terms, just in case nobody is catching what I'm saying. I'm sure y'all getting it, because my audience is pretty intelligent. Anyways, we have some pretty good conversations. So I'm not doubting that you all don't have the capacity to understand what I'm saying. But for any of the people who may listen to this in the future, who may not be from my section of people, who is looking into my videos to see what I'm talking about, I'm going to put it in layman terms for them. Let's say you're dealing with someone who does drugs, right? And they have all these programs out here, Oh, no, hold on. Let's go with an easier one. That is one that people should know very well. Homelessness. Let's say you're dealing with someone who is homeless, right? And they're homeless because they have a drug addiction or whatever, alcoholic addiction, whatever the case may be. Well, they know if they go to there are many options to get people out of homelessness. There are many programs set up across this country to combat homelessness, right? There are many drug programs that are free, that are funded by the state, because the state would rather pay for you to get treatment than to pay for your inmate bills. You know what I'm saying? To pay to lock you up, to catch you, to pay for the damages that you may have caused, the carnage that you may have caused to someone else, all these things, the consequences of you being on drugs and not wanting to get off of the drugs. They will pay for you to help you get off of the drugs because that consequence is less and monetarily, right? But out of all these options, how many homeless people do y'all see on the corners again? I mean, I understand that circumstances do happen, and there are people who definitely go through things, and people houses catch on fire, people can't make rent. Of course, these places are becoming a lot more expensive. They're not paying a lot for the economy, so I understand if someone goes homeless and has to sleep in a car, etc., stand on the corner beg for money. Those are a very rare occurrence, though. Majority of people who are homeless want to be homeless. That's my opinion, because I've dealt with a lot of them. And just because I've dealt with a lot of them doesn't mean that's a representation of the whole. I understand. I get it. But from my experience, and I'm pretty sure other people can relate to what I'm saying, is that a lot of these people will tell you straight up they don't want to follow the rules because their homelessness gives them more freedom than the institutions in which they can seek help from. They love it here. They love it here. There's some homeless people that make bank from begging. They love it here. You got to stand on the corner for 8-10 hours, collect money. Then you get to do whatever you want, not pay taxes on it. They love it here, right? This is the BW. This is the BW. Here they are standing on the corner saying how their lives are so bad. They're hungry. They'll do anything for work. But here they are toiling in the back once they get the money and spending it on drugs and alcohol. This is the equivalent of what we're experiencing in regards to the criticization of black men and us offering solutions to change and curve this, and the women saying, nope, I want to be homeless. They love it here. It's no different. It's the same thing. Now, what their drug of choice is, whether it be alcohol, methamphetamines, heroin, whatever. Like I said, I'll talk about that on a different chat, a different day, a different subject. But they have an agenda. I often say, especially when it comes to women, there's the truth and then there's the real truth. The truth is what Pimp Guy calls the counterfeit person. I call it the front man. I call it the spokesman. That's the person that they send out to handle all the business. It's the PR rep. You know what I'm saying? It is not the true person. The true person actually holds the truth, because what do lawyers do? They go out and say, we'll take this question, we'll take that question. We're not going to answer this one, and that one. They pick and choose what questions they're going to answer to avoid incriminating themselves, to avoid having the person incriminate themselves. That's what a front man does, right? So when the front man gets presented to the public, you as a black man, and you offer solutions, they deflect, right? They answer some questions, but not all of them, because the true reason stands behind them, right? This is no different. So the men of today that these women complain about are exactly the men that they want, because if they wanted something different, they would do better. Plain and serious. I mean, we gotta treat them like children if they're gonna act like that, right? If you want to get yourself out of this situation, then you need to make moves on that. And what are they doing? Going the complete opposite way. They not only are they not listening to what black man said, they're gonna double down on Goofy. Like Angry Man said, double down on Goofy. You know what I'm saying? Not only are they gonna do that, but they're gonna mash it up real good, right? Does that strike you as someone who wants change? Does that strike you as someone who wants what they actually say that they want? Women are very fork-tongued. They were the first ones to speak to the devil, right? They're very fork-tongued. Notice Adam didn't talk to the devil. It was only Eve. That means that they shared the same language. And I have a few reservations about that too. I think I'll talk about it in another video. This is just the historians, definitely, if I say something wrong, chime in, because we're here to build on a thought here. This is our portion of the skyscraper, right? But I think that Adam and Eve were children when that story was told. But that's another story, another topic. We're not gonna get into that. But nonetheless, the men of today that these women complain about is exactly what they want. You don't be that man, though. You don't be that woman. You don't be that woman. If you really want change, you need to listen to authority on this. You need to follow. You need to get behind somebody who is actually doing the will of change. It may not be the change that you're used to. Of course, it shouldn't be. It may not be the change that you agree with. It shouldn't be, because everything that you agree with, everything that you're used to is not working, right? You have to try something different. So anyone who offers a solution to the problem that you have, when you have exhausted all of your tools, you should follow. You should be led. Or you can go join a hyena clan. But anyways, like, comment, and share. Check me out on Facebook. Check me out on Patreon. I have chopped 2 videos for Patreon. I will be putting those up here shortly. Probably not today, though. I'm sorry. Don't hurt me. But anyways, this has been the Wolf and Beta Close. May you have a good day. And of course, you definitely should know it. Peace be with you.